Hello world! So this is round 2. So I just tried to do this before and it told me, no, it told me I can't do your video live. What do you mean you can't do my video live? What is that? That's sometimes Facebook. Ooh, if they were here, I'd slap them. So I had to type my whole title in again, do it again. So here I am doing it again. So welcome to my kitchen. This is Luann Pikett in Southwest Florida, and it is Thanksgiving Eve. So on Thanksgiving Eve, we are going to make some baked goods. So I am going to do some cooking today and tomorrow. So I'm going to start out today. I'm going to make some brownies with a glaze and some chocolate chip cookies that are all dairy-free. And the reason I'm doing that is we have a family member that needs to be dairy-free now. So I've never made dairy-free stuff. I'm going to tell you, it's the first time I've done stuff that's like, normally has dairy that I've made it dairy-free. So it's going to be a little new adventure here. And I'm going to do a couple things with that tomorrow too. But I'm going to start with the brownies. And the brownies are actually vegan. They don't have eggs either, but the cookies do. So we're just going to see how this works. And then I'm going to make some Oreo cake pops, or called Oreo balls. Those are not dairy-free. And later I'm going to make a sour cream pound cake, also not dairy-free. But the first two things I'm going to make are, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to make half this recipe. I've not made it ever before. So I don't want to make a whole big, making like an assortment of smaller amounts so that, our dairy-free family member can try them, see if they like them, and if they do, good. If not, then they don't have to eat them. So I'm going to start out. My oven is on 350, and I'm going to make half this recipe. And normally you'd be a 9 by 13 pan, but we're going to use this 8 by 8 square dish and do half. So let us start. What does it say? In a large bowl, you're going to put the dry ingredients, okay? So I'm going to do 1 cup of, it says unbleached all-purpose flour. That's what I use anyway, is unbleached flour. I like King Arthur flour. You can use whatever you want. So I'm going to do 1 cup. So let me get this pan. I want to move our baking dish out of the way for now. Somewhere. I have too much stuff here. Let's put it over there. So I'm going to have my bowl and my flour. Okay, so there we go. So then I'm going to do, let's put that there and that there. Let's get let's take this one. Take the whisk, and we're going to stir the flour just so it isn't packed down, and it will be nice and loose and work really well. So then let's take a 1 cup measure. The other day when I made those oatmeal raisin cookies and I couldn't remember if I used the 1 cup or the 1.5 cup measure, I went back and watched the video. It was the 1 cup. It was the one I wanted it to be, although I will tell you, I wouldn't have minded it being 1.5 cups. It could have been more raisins. But adding just a little bit more than the recipe says to me, it's a little better. So here's a cup of flour. Remember now, this is half the recipe that I'm doing. So there's your cup of flour. Then we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. I'm just going to put this aside because we'll use it again. It's my 1 cup of sugar. You see, I have the very fancy Tupperware, really old Tupperware dishes. They work. Keep out bugs. No, I don't have bugs here, but where I lived before in Lehigh, I did. And I had to keep everything sealed, no matter how much we sprayed. It didn't seem to matter, but there's no bugs here where I'm living now. I think they have it professionally pest controlled, so I bet apparently that works better. Okay, so then we're going to do 3/8 of a cup of cocoa powder. Thank goodness I remembered to buy that because I was completely out of cocoa. I always make such a big mess of cocoa on the counter. So I'm going to put it on a paper towel. I can't not make a mess. Particularly this is since it's like a brand new one, it's going to be the most full. So let me go ahead and open. But I was out of cocoa, didn't even realize it. So here we go. Bought more. Let me get my measuring spoons here. And we're going to do 3/8 of a cup. 1/8 of a cup is 2 tablespoons. And this is a 2 tablespoons. So that's 1/8 of a cup right there. I wonder if I have my little metal one. It'll fit in here better. If I can find it. If not, I'll just use that. I don't have it, but I have one in there that has no handle. And that's not going to work. Okay, so let's do 3/8 of a cup. So this is 1/8 right here. Get my knife back here again. I had no work today. So what have I been doing all day? I've been making a list. I've been making my Thanksgiving cooking, I'm calling it my staging. I'm staging my cooking. So in other words, I have to figure out what to bake which day and how, particularly for tomorrow with the hot food. How long is it going to take? How long is each dish going to take? When do I need to start it based on with the other ones? So I'm trying to know when to start. And so it'll all kind of get done at close to the same time, but then I don't run out of time. That's the main thing, is I don't want to run out of time. So I have, let me show you. I have a little plan. So here, this is how I do all this. So I've written down my to-do lists for, this is my to-do list for today, my to-do list for tomorrow. I rewrote mine for tomorrow to have the times and everything on there. Look at that. So that's my, I call it my staging. I'm staging all my baking. So I have it ready. So I know when to start. So I have start this at this time, start this at that time. So I know I don't run out of time, and I know which order to do it in. It's just so easy to look at the list and do what it says next. Okay, that is flour, sugar, cocoa powder. Now we want baking powder. Baking powder is half a teaspoon. Okay, here's my baking powder. Half a teaspoon. Remember, this is half the recipe. Where's my half a teaspoon? There it is. Okay, baking powder. Then we have half a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt. Find where I put that. Here it is. I have all kind of rice in here with my salt, so I gotta pour it through a strainer. That's one of the little tricks of living in a very hot, humid climate, although it's very nice today, is that your salt doesn't clump. Okay, so then you're going to mix these dry ingredients together. And I don't think you need an actual mixer with this. I could just use a whisk or a spoon. So I'm going to use my mixer for the cookies. Anything you can mix by hand when you're doing several things, to me, it makes it where you don't, you don't have to keep washing the mixer bowl that way. Okay. So we have all our dry ingredients mixed. I'm going to kind of put a little well in the bottom here. It doesn't say to do this. This is just how I mix in wet ingredients into dry. Kind of make you a little, you know, a little hole in the bottom. Then we're going to add half a cup of water, half a cup of vegetable oil, any kind of oil that you want to put in it, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. So let me get my water. I'm just going to go over here and measure it. I put some water through my filter. So here's half a cup of water. Let's see if I got that. That's not quite there. Are we there now? Okay, there we are. Half a cup of water. And we're going to add half a cup of oil. I have a little bit of oil here. This is a little trick I do. Elevate it a little bit, and then you don't have to bend over so far to see. I sometimes even put it all the way up top in the cabinet on a shelf of my cabinet, so I don't have to bend over so far to see it. So we want half a cup of oil. This is just a little bit left of this one. All right, get rid of that one. Let me open up my new one. Ow. Oh, just hurt my hand. Scraped it on my cabinet. Okay, half a cup of oil, or whatever oil. Says vegetable oil. Come on, lid. There we go. Let me open this one. If I can. There we go. These things where you have to peel off the top of the lids are always stronger than my fingernails. So they stay in place and my fingernails all bend and break. They never work well for me. Get a knife or scissors or something to do it. Okay, so there's that. Okay, here we go. Half a cup of oil. I just pour it on top of the water. till you get to the full amount. Okay. Then we're going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla into that. Pour it together and mix it. That's like it. So very easy. All right, let me put my Oreo back. Put the Oreo back there. So vanilla, half a teaspoon. Where did I put it? It's hiding. Okay, there's my vanilla. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, I put that straight in, but it won't matter. Because I'm going to pour this in now too. So we're going to add the liquid into the middle. And you notice anything interesting about these brownies? They don't have egg either. No egg. No milk. No dairy. It's they're actually vegan. I suppose you could find a dairy-free recipe that uses eggs, but I saw this one. I thought, this will be fine. Because I've made cakes before without eggs as well, and you can't even tell. So it has baking powder. It doesn't need the eggs to rise. It needs the baking powder. So we have that in there. I'm just going to mix it together. Smells so yummy and chocolatey. But it says pour it in the pan, and I will say it doesn't tell you whether or not to grease the pan. So I'm probably going to spray a little bit in it. Although I'm probably going to leave it in the pan. I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to serve it in the pan. They smell like brownies. They smell good. But notice too, this doesn't have any like substitute ingredients. It just doesn't have it. So there you go. So I'm going to shake it out of the whisk. It's a little bit of a thick batter, so I had to really grip that whisk really well. Let me put everything over here in my cup and a little bit of soap because I'm going to wash those in case I need to use them again. So then let's get, that was my prop there, that peanut butter. Don't need that. Get rid of the else. All right, so then we're going to take our pan and we're going to scrape this into the pan. Here's our pan. I am going to spray just a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't say. It just says spread it in a pan. And you're going to bake it at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes till the top is no longer shiny. Cool 10 minutes before cutting into squares. But I'm going to add a glaze. This recipe doesn't tell you to add a glaze. I just looked up a separate glaze because I love glazed brownies. So if you do have a brownie that ends up a little bit dry or something, just put a glaze on top of it or some sort of icing or something. Oh, they're thick. Look at this. Oh, you want that though. So I'm hoping these will turn out to taste okay. I'm probably, since it's the first time I've made them, I'm probably going to have to cheat and taste them. Let's see if it's okay. I don't want to take something that tastes horrible for the first time and say, here, eat this. Oh, it's terrible? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So here we're going to spread it in the pan. They look so yummy. But I think for a brownie, you know, glaze or icing or something, that will cover a multitude of sins. We'll fix everything. Okay, so let's put this in the oven, and then we're going to move on to our Oreo balls, or Oreo cake pops, whichever you want to call it. So let me set my timer for 25 minutes. Put this in the oven. It's already on 350. Set my timer. Whoops, that was too far. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now, to make the Oreos, now I have made this a couple of years now, and for I think both holidays, and both times it tells you to use 36 Oreos, which is a small package, and a block of cream cheese. But I will tell you, I always use the big giant package and the block of cream cheese. So I'm not really sure if we need the whole. Do we need the whole block of cream cheese? I don't know. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the Oreos. Now let me get my actual recipe. Let's put this one in the bottom. Okay, you're going to take 38 Oreos, which is, this might actually have 36. I have a couple more in the refrigerator. How many do we have? It says about 12 servings. Well, we'll see how many's in there. But this is just the regular size that the recipe actually tells you to use that size. But I've used the family size and the party size and still only used a block of cream cheese. So I'm not real sure what we're going to need here. But let's see. Place the Oreos in the food processor. You're going to pulse until they're crumbs. And then you're going to beat the cream. It says use a stand mixer or hand mixer, but I still do it in the food processor. You're just going to add the cream cheese that's softened. Blend until it's smooth. And then you're going to well, you're going to add it to the Oreo crumbs. It's so much easier to just do it all in one thing. Let's see if we have 38 cookies in here. Let's open it up. There's 4, 8, 9, 10. Whoops. 11, 12. That one's falling apart already. You can't wait. 13, 14, 15, 16. 18, 19, 20, because it says about that many in here. I want to find out. So there's 24. Okay, there's 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, there's 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, it actually says 38. Can you believe it's like two Oreos short, but luckily I have some more in the refrigerator. So let me get 2 more, just because I want to make it exact. Why would they not make it the amount that is actually in the package is beyond me. But that is what they say. Let me get 2 more Oreos here. Just so it's 38. But I'll bet you can just use the 36 and you'll probably can't tell. But I can't stand not being exact. It's a curse. Okay, so here we go. We're going to make all kinds of noise. The cats are not going to like it, but they're not in here. They're in the other room. Here we go. Okay, see, like that takes a second. So fast. Now, this one is not dairy-free. And it's not mess-free either. Not dairy-free. Now, if you want to use... if there's a dairy-free cream cheese and dairy-free chocolate chips to make the coating, you can make this dairy-free. Well, are Oreos dairy-free? Yes, I wanted to check that. Let me check it. Hold on. What are the ingredients? Contains wheat and soy. Okay, let's see. Flour, thiamine, riboflavin, folic acid, sugar, palm and or canola oil. Oh, it's oil, not butter. Okay, cocoa with alkali. Corn syrup, that's not good. Baking soda, cadmium soda. Okay, it looks like they are dairy-free. It does look like Oreos do not have dairy. So if you get a block of dairy-free cream cheese, I guess they have that, I don't know. And I don't know what it would taste like, but I assume that they have that. And then you get some chocolate chips that don't have milk fat. You've got to get some chocolate chips that are dairy. There are chocolate chips that are dairy-free. If you get that, then you can have dairy-free Oreo cake pops too. But these are just going to be regular. Come on here. So should I add this whole block of cream cheese? To start, maybe I'll just add 3/4 of it and see what it does. Since I know doing it with the other ones, with the full one. Let's see what happens here. Just looking for some sort of knife here. It's supposed to be softened. Is it softened? It's sort of softened. It's been out for a while. Alright, let's start with half of it and see what happens. I just don't want it to end up being too gooey. And I've not made it with the actual size of Oreos before. Okay, here we go. Now see, you don't really need to use a mixer, just go right in the food processor. Oh yeah, we can add the rest of that. Definitely, I do believe so. Okay, so we're going to add that, and then we're going to do, I don't know how it worked. Maybe I added extra cream cheese before. I bet I did. I don't remember what I did now. That's the thing. I just know I made more of them, but I'm not making as many this year because I'm making all kind of other desserts. So I'm cutting down the amount of these to like 1 recipe size. But these are yummy. Okay, let's get rid of this packaging. I'm trying to kind of keep the mess, kind of keep that down a little bit as I go. here. Oh, we're doing pretty good. All right. It's turning into one big ball. All right, that'll be fine. Okay, so there you have it. It's almost like, you know, how you do a cake pop. It really is just like cake and icing, only it's cake and cream cheese. Now, you don't need to add any sugar because Oreos are really sweet. So apparently they don't put butter in Oreos, they put shortening. So if you always ever wondered that, now we know. Okay, let me go ahead and put some of my stuff over here to soak. Okay. While that's going, I'm going to get rid of this too. I really think I'm done with the food processor also. Let's just move it out of the way. Okay. I'm going to need to use this. I'll turn off my water. Okay, let me see what my instructions say now. Roll them into small balls and place on a baking sheet that has been lined with parchment paper. Freeze them for 15 minutes, and then you're going to melt your chocolate. Okay, so let's find a pan. I wonder how many that's going to make. Let's see what I have that'll fit in the freezer. That's the thing. I have big pans, but I'm going to take everything out of the freezer. Okay, so we're just going to, it says parchment lined. So I have a piece of wax paper. It's like dry wax paper, so I'm going to use that. Because look, it fits in there so nicely. Then I'm going to take my little scoop here, and this is like a 1 tablespoon size, and we're just going to put these here, and they can be put close together. They do not have to be spaced apart because they're not going to expand or anything. Just, I would say, not touching because you don't want them to freeze together. So here we are. Scoop it up. Make sure your hands are clean, of course. Scoop it up. Put them in here. I love these because there's like no cooking. This is a no cook thing, and if you want a yummy, I mean yummy, no cook thing to do, this is it. And you can just use a spoon. You don't have to use the ice cream scoop, this mini ice cream scoop. But look how perfect you can make that. Good evening. How are you? It is, what time is it? 7 o'clock. Look at that, 7 o'clock p.m. here in Southwest Florida. I'm in Lee County. And I have 16 minutes left to check those brownies. It's going to be like 81 degrees tomorrow here, which is, I wish it was, originally was going to be 78, and I would prefer that. It would be a little cooler, but... So, you know what? It's going to be Thanksgiving in shorts here. Thanksgiving in shorts. It almost always is. Rarely is it cool on Thanksgiving here. Rarely. I don't know if I ever remember a cool Thanksgiving. We're lucky if we get cool at Christmas. Okay, so then we're going to do... I assume everybody is so busy getting their stuff ready for their own Thanksgiving. I probably should do some cooking like this, like, you know, early, so you have time to say, oh, I want to make that. Save it for Christmas. In case you wanted to make this. There we go. So you're not going to freeze these hard, you know, there's 15 minutes. You're just going to kind of get them chilled a little bit. So they won't, because like right now, if you try to dip these, they're just going to fall apart and kind of be mush. So if you freeze it, that cream cheese will get kind of firm again. That's in here. And it will help them to be easy to dip in melted chocolate. Oh, that's going to be so good. And I have to, I just realized I gotta find my chocolate chips. Where did I do with those? I have the dairy-free ones, but I'm gonna do these in regular chocolate chips. And I gotta find those. Huh. Did I put them in the pantry, or do I have them here? It's getting a little sticky. That's why it's nice to have that little handle to push it out, because it does get a little sticky. Let me look around here. I'm not seeing chocolate chips here. I know I bought 2 bags of them, so they're probably in my pantry. So I'll go there in a minute. As soon as I put these in the freezer, I'm just looking around to see if I have them. Because most of my stuff I have kind of laying out here. Just trying to see if I have it laying out, but nope, I don't. Nopey, nope, nope, nope. These are fabulous to taste test. Okay. Look how good those look. They're like deep dark chocolate. Oh. If you don't like Oreos, you could probably use a vanilla sandwich cookie to do this with. It'll just be vanilla. You could dip it in white chocolate, chocolate, whatever you want. Now you can get, this says you can get like the chocolate melts. You know, those little things that are the little wafers where you can just melt them. But I'm just using chocolate chips. I didn't see any of those melts in the store, so I think they were sold out. I'm getting close here. I think I'm going to go ahead and put these in the freezer. Do them in a couple batches. This is the second batch is going to be pretty small, though. That's okay. Okay. So there's my first batch. Let me get my hands to be unsticky a little bit. I'm going to put those in the freezer. Then I'm going to start on the second batch. Let me see where I have room in the freezer. Yeah, that's a joke. Room in the freezer. You know, in this apartment, they don't give you a full size. They don't give us a full size. Oh, this is stuck. Refrigerator. I've got the tiniest refrigerator that can still be called full size. It's barely full size. Doesn't even fill in the space they give for it. It's real pitiful. They just give you like the cheapest thing they can find. Okay, so let's do 15 minutes. So there's 15 minutes on this timer. And I got 12 minutes on the oven. Okay, so while that's going, let's get another pan. This one's a little smaller, but close. And we're going to do it again with the rest. And the rest here on Gilligan's Isle. Yes, yes, everything is a song to me. Okay. Tell a musical person when every thought turns into a song. My niece is just like that. Okay, here we go. She's probably even more. She knows more songs. She knows more songs than I do. She's got the old ones and the modern ones. I don't know much modern songs. Okay. Not because I couldn't. More likely that I kind of don't like them as well. I like older music. I don't think I even like my own era music. I'm really like a vintage girl. I've always been a vintage girl. Vintage music. That's just me. But, you know, if you want some old hymns, I know them. But I also know modern choruses. I know modern choruses. I know what was modern choruses in my younger days as well. But modern, like secular music, no, nope. No, thank you. You can keep that. Not for me. For the most part. Oh, there's been a few exceptions, I'm sure. But for the most part, I also like show tunes. You know, Broadway music. Stuff like that. Let's see if I can find another place to put this one. Oops.